Yeah, we'd have to investigate that particular sound there.
Well, just a change in noise?
Just that change in sound, we have to investigate it. So we take a couple of inches off now to see if that sound gets a bit louder.
OK, well, let's check it out then.
Let's have a look.
So, come on, Morris, what do we got down here?
Well, it's not in the hole anymore.
Ah, there it is. What is it?
We've got it out. So we'll have a look and we try and find it. And the easiest way to try and find it is by going like that. And we could be onto a nugget.
It's in your hand. What is it?
It's in my hand. It's a little bit of steel.
We haven't struck it rich.
No, but that bit of steel's got a lot of history in it. That's from the 1850s.
Now, these new metal detectors cost just under $5,000, but there are plenty of stories of people who have paid for them with just a few days of prospecting. Iain Aitken of the Miners' Den sells mining equipment, lectures prospective prospectors and takes tours to the goldfields. So, Iain, how easy is the machine to use?
Oh, it's very easy. That's one of the main reasons it's so successful.
Well, it's turning up fairly big chunks of gold. What effect did it have when it first came onto the market?
Huge. It created a whole new rush, whole new gold boom. We started to get nuggets plucking out like plums in the plum pudding.
What sort of size were they?
100 ounce, 200 ounce. The biggest one was 317.
You're kidding, worth about how much?
That's worth probably 200,000-300,000.
What's the difference between this and a traditional metal detector?
Basically two things. The first one is the ease of use and hearing a target. Normally you would have a ground noise that was there as well. Secondly, the increase in the depth that you'll get out of the detector. This one's probably going 2-3 times the depth that the best of the rest are going. If you're planning to join the gold rush, you must have a miner's right or fossicking licence, depending on the state in which you live. Ask permission if you want to prospect on private property and make sure you're not trespassing on a mining lease. Refill any holes you dig and take away any rubbish you find. Doug Stone lectures with Iain to new prospectors and leads expeditions to the goldfields of Victoria, Western Australia and the Northern Territory. He's written many books on gold prospecting and publishes detailed maps of the goldfields. So quite obviously a lot of people are coming into this for the lure of the dollar, but what else do they get out of it?
The gold's the trigger, and we shouldn't forget that. But what they do, they find there's more to the hobby. They're out in the countryside, the main thing, and they're also travelling with a purpose, because with this you've got to do some prior research before you head off on your trip.
So what sort of research will they actually do and what will they uncover?
Well, basically working out where the coarse gold areas are in which state. That requires some reading, going to your local map shop and finding information. We run courses specifically to get people started and on their way. And one of the other big things is, which we should remember with this whole hobby, is the relics. That people literally lived on the goldfields. This was their home. They camped next to the diggings, so they lost all their trinkets, their, bits off their pants, and we find buttons. A friend recently found a gold sovereign down at Beaufort, and that was auctioned in Sydney a few weeks ago for $25,000. So coins are interesting, and also heaps of Chinese coins on the fields, which throws open that whole cultural thing, who lived, went before you. And that's what gets people in.
Of all the hobbies you could possibly have, this could be one of the most interesting, because not only do you get outdoors and exercise, but with a bit of luck and some new technology, you could strike it rich.
Everybody knows about it.
I knew you knew.
I knew.
Except the man himself.
My wife for 40 years is seeing another man.
Now, the deeper he digs,
You followed him. Oh, my God.
the more he uncovers.
This is incredible.
And the closer he gets to the truth,
Oh, my God.
the stranger it all becomes.
William? Sheldon? Lester? Lester. What?
Confused?
Possibly.
Well, don't be.
Follow me.
Douglas Wombers on the case.
Let's just get this thing over with.
Picket Fences, 9:30 Tuesday.
Mom, Kinder Surprise.
Children, it's so hard keeping up with them.
Because every day they're looking for new excitement, new surprises. In Kinder Surprise, they get an exciting new toy every time. And now the excitement continues with over 100 new surprises. New cars, planes, and lots of other new surprises.
Terrific.
And the chocolate is Kinder with more milk and less cocoa.
Surprise, toy and chocolate. Kinder Surprise. 3 wishes in one.
Looking for a new set of wheels? Make tracks to your Ford dealers' half-year clearance and save with end-of-financial-year deals like half-price plan on Festiva from $6,991 or half-price plan on Falcon Auto with Air at $15,673. You heard right. Pay half now with no repayments for 2 years, plus clearance deals on used cars with no repayments for half a year. The half-year clearance sale. Buy anywhere else and you've paid too much. See your Ford dealer now and save.
To create the ultimate laundry liquid, we started with the #1 stain fighter and made it ultra concentrated. Then we set up the ultimate test, the chocolate cake from hell. New ultra concentrated Ultra Dynamo, now more powerful than ever before. So you only use half as much to handle the toughest stains, the biggest wash, first time. Ultra Dynamo, it's ultra tough on stains.
Oh dearie me. I said the biggest retailer of electrical appliances, not the retailer of the biggest electrical appliances.
Retrovision, over 500 stores.
Buying tiles? Then buy direct at wholesale prices from Orange Tile Market. First quality floor tiles, $16.80 per square metre. Great value ivory wall tiles, $13.95 per square metre. Multicoloured slate from $7.95 per square metre. And glazed terracotta floor tiles, $16.80 per square metre. There's a great new range of Italian wall and floor combinations in exquisite new designs, and ceramic glazed parquet floor tiles are just $24.85 per square metre. Buy direct from one of the largest tile showrooms in Australia and save. The Orange Tile Market.
Gear from year to year. Handyman, tradesman, man on the land. You need guts to get the job done the best you can. It's a heavy-duty world, there's no easy way. Collier and Miller have come of age. Yeah, Collier and Miller, serious gear from year to year.
The Old Wagga Inn presents a night not to be missed. It's the Big O Show. Come along to the ultimate tribute to the man himself, Roy Orbison. Show starts at 7 p.m. with a 3-course meal included. The Big O Show. The Old Wagga Inn, Friday 14th of June. Book now.
Internationally acclaimed Australian artist Greg Irvine is clearly influenced by his surroundings. So come with me now and meet Greg in his fascinating house. It's filled with collections, wonderful colour, and of course, his amazing paintings.
It's full of obsession, really. I'm a very obsessive person, and I really love going around junk shops and antique shops, and I just buy anything I like, but I buy a hell of a lot of it. But I always buy things that are that I know will go with something else. I don't consider I have clutter in this house. There is nothing in this house that I don't consider to be beautiful in some way or another. Every flat surface has a still life which I would probably use as a painting, and it all influences my work.
Greg's house is not for the light-hearted. It's literally crammed with collections, be it paintings, hair combs, bottles, ceramics. You name it, Greg will probably have it tucked away somewhere. Everything, though, has a purpose, like this collection of exquisite parasols.
I'd started to collect those in the 60s because of the patterns which I use in my work. I collect anything that's decorative that I can use in my paintings.
The colours are superb.
Yeah, and the taste of the 20s, which you just can't get, you can't see things like this any longer.
Well, I see it's not only paintings on the wall, Greg, but I see a wonderful painted floor too.
Well, what happened with this was I ran out of money and the floor was painted this peculiar yellow ochre colour, and one day I was sitting having breakfast and I thought, oh, look, you know, I'm going to do something with that, and I sort of made my own stencils and started stenciling it. I started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, finished at 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's the result.
Decorating to a tight budget, Greg has certainly been innovative, and he didn't stop at this stencilled floor. Greg, your bathroom's very special, and I see a fine corrugated iron's been used very effectively.
Well, that's just, it was a very cheap way of doing it. What I've done is just used corrugated iron and pressed tin for the shower screen. I've created, I suppose, a Victorian bathroom. It really is like stepping into a time warp, I suppose.
This beautiful pressed tin, which was retrieved from a house due for demolition, has also been cleverly used in the kitchen.
It was a very cheap way of doing cupboards because I just got a carpenter, I got the old metal and I just got a carpenter to make the frames and they just tacked it behind. It was a fabulous way of saving money and it looks effective.
Greg, your collection extends into the kitchen too, with more coffee pots than I've ever seen. They're wonderful. Tell me about them. There's enamel, there's china.
Well, actually, most of them are French coffee pots, especially the ones up here, which I bought in France, actually, and had them sent back here. And, of course, I've just got so much of it that I thought, what am I going to do with it? So I sort of shoved it on the ceiling from cup hooks.
Looks very effective. Often it's a dilemma for people, Greg, to put their collections together and display them in a way that looks wonderful. Have you got some advice for us?
Yes, well, as you notice here, everything is displayed in groups of colour. Like the green is all displayed green. And the secret is to pick things that are interrelated in the same colour. And everything's done in groups of colour, which I think is a winner for a big, it's interesting right from the start. If you notice, that's all blue and white on this area here, so that's why it works. If it was a million different colours, it wouldn't work so well.
Incidentally, Greg made these plates. His artistic background includes pottery and ceramic sculpture, and examples of this work can be seen in his exhibitions and in his home. While he makes and collects ceramics, Greg also has some very interesting uses for broken ceramics. Greg, how did you actually lay these shards? Obviously into wet cement, but where did you start from?
Well, actually, I started, I suppose, from over here somewhere, but you do it in sections. You just mix up cement in a plastic bucket and then tip what you mix up in a pool and flatten it and then just put the shards in and then do another section and another section. So it took weeks to do, but in sections.
Many of the pieces used in this courtyard have a surprising origin. They've come from Melbourne's Grand Prix site.
That site, all around Albert Park Lake and going towards St Kilda, which of course was the first suburb in Melbourne, very old, all that was a rubbish dump. They used to ride their horses and carts and dump the rubbish all around that area. So when they were digging up the Grand Prix, it's just full of treasures.
Greg has travelled extensively, and this is reflected in his art. While travelling, he keeps a sketchbook of places and objects which may inspire future paintings. His travels also inspire his collecting.
These are sort of bits of ventilators from a French building, but I just like them because they're like sculptures.
Your excess luggage bill must be phenomenal.
Oh, they were sent back. They were sent back.
Whether it's adding to his collections, designing pottery, or grabbing a brush and painting a set of chairs like this, Greg is constantly working on his canvas called Home.
Coming up next, for people trying to nip smoking in the bud, we'll show you what's available to help you quit the habit.
James Garner in the role that won him an Oscar nomination.
Murphy Joe.
And Academy Award winner Sally Field.
I'm 33 years old and I'm living like a nun.
She blew into town like a breath of fresh air.
Oh, that was real friendly.
We're not friends.
What she found was the strong, silent type.
You're out of style, Murphy.
Putting the heart back into love in a place where romance blossoms slowly.
I'm going to bring you here more often.
In the heartwarming romantic comedy.
Separate the men from the boys.
Murphy's Romance, 8:30 Friday.
If you have a family, up until now you may have found that health insurance didn't fit your budget, or you may have let it go. Deciding you couldn't afford to cover your family for hospital, dental, orthodontic, optical, physio, chiro and pharmacy. Well, now you can. HCF is proud to announce a revolutionary new package that covers you for all those things, and even 100% private hospital, ambulance and accident cover. It's called Family Care, and all it costs is $115 a month. To find out more about HCF's new Family Care, call now on 1-800-062-063. At $115 a month, it'll fit your family and your budget.
As a breeder of champion English Springer Spaniels and a show judge, I know about dogs' condition and fitness for the show ring or a run in the country. This is my dog Max. He's a champion. Some say the best Springer ever. Like all my dogs, he just loves the new bigger meaty chunks in Pal. In fact, I never feed them anything else. Whenever we win and people ask me what I feed them, I tell them Pal. I recommend it every time.
Top breeders recommend Pal.
Buy now on 12 months interest-free terms at Harvey Norman. Absolutely no interest to pay for 12 months. Buy a new computer, printer, fax machine, photocopier, mobile phone and much, much more. This is a limited offer, 12 months interest-free terms.
At Harvey Norman. Go to the Riverina Tool Centre on Thursday and you'll be too early. Go Monday and you'll be too late. But on Friday, Saturday and Sunday at the Riverina Tool Centre, you'll be right on the spot for a genuine 3-day sale. The Riverina Tool Centre.
Take a new look at the West Dubbo Bowling Club. It's more than a club, it's an oasis. The Oasis Family Bistro lets you enjoy beautiful panoramic views of Dubbo and the surrounding countryside. Get together with family and friends and experience the delicious dishes on offer. The generous menu includes hot and cold meals, and the salad and pasta bars are a must. Enjoy tasty food and treat yourself to one of the best views in town. The West Dubbo Bowling Club, the oasis over the bridge.
10 Capital, Radio 2GZ, Central Western Daily, Radio 2PK and Parks Champion Post have great pleasure in presenting a super night of fashion, the 1996 Golden Gun Awards on tour, at a venue near you. Hurry, book now.
Hello. You know, some people find they get rather irritable and short-tempered when they give up smoking, and this can make life hard for the rest of the family. So it helps if you can learn how to relax. Just find yourself a nice quiet corner, sit down, and breathe deeply for a minute or two. That's better. All right, you can come out now.
John Cleese shows just how testing stopping smoking can be. But during National Quit Week, which starts on the 31st of May, many Australians will be giving it a go. So we're going to take a look at some of the help that's available. And if John Cleese is right, you may just be needing all the help you can get. Judith Watt has been helping people butt out for 8 years, first in London, now here. And being a former smoker herself, she fully understands the difficulty of the challenge.
I would quit smoking and then start again and quit and start and quit and start. Finally, I got fed up of failing, and I wanted to get control back of my life, you know. So I made one really determined effort and did it.
And what would the key be for people who are trying to give up?
Really wanting to, you know, people talk about willpower and whether you've got enough willpower to quit. I don't think that's the key. I think it's want power.
And postponing. This one's becoming a bit more popular now with people. What you actually do here is if you used to start smoking at about 6:30 in the morning and you continued on throughout the day, you start smoking rather at 7:30.
On average, more people find they're successful quitting cold turkey than cutting down.
Serious quitters could be quite resourceful when it comes to seeking help. Some have had success with acupuncture, hypnotherapy and even herbal remedies like this herbal cigarette. But one method proven to have had relative success is nicotine therapy. How successful is nicotine therapy?
Well, Lynn, it's highly successful. In a person who's highly motivated, who smokes a lot of cigarettes per day, the success rate is quite good.
6 to 12-week courses are available from pharmacies, but you do need to see your doctor first, and you need a prescription. Can everyone use them?
Well, if you've just had a heart attack or you've had a stroke, not a good idea. If you're pregnant or you're breastfeeding, the current recommendation is not to have them, although you need to check with your doctor about this. They're a patch that's impregnated with nicotine that actually goes through the skin and it replaces the physical symptoms that you would normally experience when you are stopping smoking. You do need to stop smoking when you're having them. I'll put it on your hand at present, but normally you'd put it on your upper body, rotating the sites round so that you don't come back to the same site within a week.
Nicotine therapy costs about the same as a packet of cigarettes a day, and if you don't like the patches, you might like the gum. Nicotine therapy takes away the physiological withdrawal of quitting, but there are still many other aspects of breaking the habit to deal with.
If you've just given up smoking, you may be experiencing some withdrawal symptoms.
I couldn't think properly. I just had to have something in my hands. I used to get cranky.
The craving usually goes away after a month or so.
I'm cantankerous. I get very bad-tempered.
In the meantime, well, you just have to hang in there. Oh, Brucey, I need you.
Well, I used to feel very empty, an empty feeling in the stomach. Used to feel like I've lost something.
The craving will only last a few minutes, and there are a few simple rules that you can follow to get yourself through that craving. And we call them the 3 Ds, right? Number 1, delay. You know, don't pick up the cigarettes, don't go out and get them. Delay. Deep breathing. Give yourself a chance to relax. Just take a few deep breaths and relax into it. Drink water. Terrific idea. You're actually literally flushing the system clean. Your body's getting rid of all the nicotine, the carbon monoxide, so drink some water slowly and do something else.
Hello, Quitline, can I help you? Call the Quitline, phone a friend, go for a walk, or employ your own tactics.
If you've recently given up smoking, there'll be occasions when you're tempted to have just one cigarette.
To help avoid temptation, remove all triggers, or at least recognise triggers, so you can combat them before you weaken and light up. You may be used to having a cigarette while you're on the phone, in the car, after a meal, or with a drink. So you need to deal with these associations. Above all, when you're tempted, remind yourself of why you started quitting in the first place. Wouldn't it be a shame to throw all that effort away?
During a weak moment, giving a thought to your hip pocket could be all you need to help you to say no to a habit that's probably costing you around $2,500 each year. Now imagine what else you could be doing with that sort of money.
And what about the side effects of quitting?
Some quitters will put on a bit of weight. They may not keep that weight on, though. The vast majority of quitters will eventually return to their normal weight. And some people don't put on any weight at all. I think if you plan for it, for your quit attempt by avoiding putting sugary or fatty foods in your mouth, and take a little bit more regular exercise, because that in itself will help you to relax and get through that difficult period. There are other withdrawal symptoms that people may experience. They might have tingling in their fingers and in their limbs. That's actually a very good sign of the body returning to normal. What's happening is that you're getting more oxygen into your system and the blood flow is starting to return to normal. You might find that you have a cough for some days or weeks after quitting smoking. Again, that's the little sort of hair-like cilia, they're called, in your air passages, removing some of the muck.
Some people watching may say, why quit now? I've been smoking for, 20, 30 years and it's not going to make a difference. Is that the case?
No, listen, it's never too late to quit. I mean, even for older smokers who've been smoking for years, the health benefits of quitting are enormous. I mean, a year after quitting, your risk of heart disease and lung cancer is half of that if you continue to smoke, as well as the obvious benefits of, clearer skin and fresher breath and improved circulation. You really are increasing your life expectancy if you quit smoking.
Of course, leather will always be very collectible. It's hard-wearing, lasts a long time, and over the years, it's amazing what we've been able to make out of animal hides. Well, after the break, I'll show you a new leather, and I bet you've never seen it before.
Mystery's bestseller is on location.
Somebody's gonna get killed here!
But when in Rome, all roads lead to murder.
It was under the stunt rigging.
Unravel the truth.
You can find an answer.
Murder, She Wrote. 8:30 Saturday on 10.
Something explosive has happened to Thursday nights. Powerball, the explosive money game.
Fish has a lot of natural goodness, but lacks essential vitamins, minerals, and fats. This entire catch couldn't satisfy Sam's dietary needs, so Whiskers have introduced new chunky fish, a unique combination of fish pieces in a nutritious seafood mousse, containing the vital ingredients that nature left out. Now Sam enjoys a perfectly balanced meal every day. New chunky fish will show you why happiness is a Whiskas cat.
Something very big is landing soon. One of Australia's biggest ever public share offers. A share offer you can join in by phoning 13 33 88 to reserve your copy of the offer document, which will be released shortly. Which share offer? The offer of Commonwealth Bank shares by the Australian government. Share in something big.
When this lady came to the natural way, she was overweight and lacked confidence. But look at her now. This is Wendy Ballard, last year's Natural Way Slimmer of the Year. You look great, Wendy.
I feel great. With the Natural Way, I lost 28 kilos in just 29 weeks. I feel confident, healthier, and I've easily maintained my new weight.
The Natural Way is a natural, healthy, and inexpensive way to lose weight. Contact your nearest clinic for a free one-on-one consultation.
Go to the Riverina Tool Centre on Thursday and you'll be too early. Go Monday and you'll be too late. But on Friday, Saturday and Sunday at the Riverina Tool Centre, you'll be right on the spot for a genuine 3-day sale. The Riverina Tool Centre.
The black rhinoceros is territorial and can be aggressive. Still, that's no excuse to kill the species off. In 1970, there were over 65,000 black rhinos in Africa. Today, a market for the rhino horn has brought down numbers to barely 3,000. Recently, rhinos were brought from Zimbabwe. By visiting Western Plains Zoo, you can help save the black rhinoceros.
Western Plains Zoo and 10 Capital, committed to the survival of endangered exotic species.
Fishing is one of my favourite pastimes, which this show has allowed me to indulge in when travelling around Australia. But you know, there's not only the joy of catching fish, there's also the delight of eating them. Now we'll show you something else you can do with fish. You can wear them. That's right. Thanks to the efforts of two brothers, David and Andrew McDermott, in the fishing village of Esperance in the south of Western Australia, fish leather is rapidly gaining recognition. Well, perhaps I should say regaining recognition, because tanning fish leather is a skill long recorded in the cultures of countries like Scotland, Norway and Korea. The company is called Mermaid Leather, and the McDermott brothers harvest a resource once thrown away as rubbish: fish skins. This project is Andrew McDermott's brainchild, but he's the first to say it would never have materialised without the financial and moral support of a local fisherman and friend, Bob Bubb.
Bob unfortunately passed away almost 2 years ago to the day. And without Bob's drive and enthusiasm and his desire to want to go ahead the same as myself, we wouldn't be here today. Together we set up a small business and made a 50-50 partnership in that, and we learnt together for the next 4 years.
First, the skins arrive from local fishermen, and they're immediately soaked in a special tanning agent researched and developed by Andrew. The next stage is the dyeing of the tan leather by machine tumbling. This too has to be done very carefully. Then, as with land animal leather, the hides are put out to dry.
We rack these skins up. They've got an initial, depending on the weather conditions, it's just an air-dried system, initially 3 or 4 days drying time.
You've got some over here.
Yeah, that's right. These skins have already been out for 3 or 4 days, and as you can see there, Jim, they've wrinkled up a little bit. It's redeemable to stretch, as you can see here. And what we have to do now is exactly what I'm doing here. It's called setting out, or just starting the breaking process, which is softening the skin, giving us the true size and shape. And we just have a very simple hand tool that we use to draw these skins across to speed this process up.
Andrew, I must say this is amazing. I had no idea that fish could be tanned like leather and produce a type of marine leather, I suppose.
Sure. That's the initial response from 98% of the people who visit us here. And it still surprises me sometimes.
It really is a very appealing product. The colours are attractive, the texture's attractive, and it'll just surprise people when you feel it and touch it. What a nice, fine leather it is.
Yes, a lot of people, when they first come in, a lot of the ladies look at the leather and they think, oh, it's going to smell like fish or it's going to feel yucky or whatever, but it is a real surprise. People do get a kick out of it. It's very soft, flexible, and yet incredibly durable. It's a really surprising product.
The McDermott brothers have had to improvise a lot. Even their tools for scraping the leather, or skiving as it's called.
This is a skiving tool. We've fashioned it ourselves, and it's made from an industrial hacksaw blade and a net float. We've just sharpened the industrial hacksaw blade and cut a slit in the net float, put that into the net float as a handle, and hey presto, a skiving tool. The pens are something that we make by hand on the premises, so they certainly are the most popular.
Now, all the process that you do here is something you had to learn yourself.
Yes, we developed the method of applying the leather onto the barrel ourselves, and took us about 3 months of trial and error and a lot of torn bits of leather.
You've cut up a lot of fish in your time. I bet you thought you'd never be doing this.
No, it's something completely different from what I've done before, and it just makes you realise what can be done with the waste after it leaves the kitchen.
And what was this one, did you say?
Well, that again is the wobbegong shark, but what we've done there is actually tanned that with the natural wattle bark, mimosa wattle.
The wattle bark.
That's
new
right.
colour.
And that's darkened it up a bit, and if you just turn it over, you can see there that the natural colour of the bark has actually come through on the back.
Yeah, that's
so
like
As well as producing fish leather, the McDermott brothers also run tours through their factory. Another side of the business increasingly gaining attention and becoming one of Esperance's newest tourist attractions. The use of fish leather, blended with land mammal leather in high fashion garments and accessories, is still in its infancy. Now they've perfected the production technique, the McDermotts are seeking a financial backer to help them develop what they believe is an exciting local and export market. Well, it's a great success story, but I suppose it's sad in a way that Bob never saw it get to the stage it is now.
Definitely. I mean, the first 4 years was all the grind, all the hard work, the research and development time, and just as it was reaching its fruition, I suppose, Bob left us very, very suddenly, and it is sad in that way, but I'm sure that if he's looking down on us now, he'd be saying, well, go for it, boys, because you're doing all right, you know.
Well, where do you go from here? I mean, it's got tremendous potential. Some of the goods you've got on display here show what can be done with it.
I think you've got to either look at staying small or really expanding out of sight, and one option means that you don't need a great deal of money, and the other option means that you do, and it's hard to say, but I think the next five years at least are looking pretty good.
I bet you didn't know this. The avocado is in the Guinness Book of Records, not for having the biggest and hardest to remove pip, but as the most nutritious fruit known to man. They reckon it's the best energy source out of all the fruits, and they're probably right, as it's bursting with vitamins. The avocado is a native fruit of Central America, Mexico and the West Indies, and it's been around for thousands of years. The Indians have long used the avocado as a staple food, valuing it not only for its nutritional value, but because it tastes good. I love avocados, but they have to be perfectly ripe. Not overripe, not underripe. There's nothing worse. Now, how do you tell when the avocado is ripe? What you do is you feel it very gently at this end. Don't give it a real push because that'll wreck the avocado. Now you can see that's giving. Now that means that that avocado is ripe. Now, what if you buy one and it's not quite ripe and you need it in a couple of days? Well, you don't put it in your microwave, and you definitely, I saw this in a magazine the other day, I nearly died. You don't wrap it in your electric blanket. What you do is you get an old-fashioned brown paper bag, most probably from your greengrocer's, the easiest place. Put your avocado in that bag and you add a banana, which actually helps the avocado to ripen. I suppose you'd call it a ripening agent. And you wrap that up and you put it in a warm place, maybe on your windowsill or something like that, not in your hot water cupboard. Now, we just imagine this avocado is now perfectly ripe. How do we prepare it? Well, cutting it open's pretty easy, because all you do with a nice sharp knife, just like that. Then you give it a twist. The other thing, oh, look at that. What a beautiful avocado. Now the other thing is, how do we get the pip out? Well, that's easy. You just get a nice strong bladed knife and you put that in like that and you give it a twist and out it comes. Now that's fine. We can pull this pip off like that, but you might cut yourself. We can bang it against the bowl, you might wreck the knife. So what you do is you change hands and you just give it a push, just like that. Perfect.
Surprise. Children, it's so hard keeping up with them.
Because every day they're looking for new excitement, new surprises. In Kinder Surprise, they get an exciting new toy every time. And now the excitement continues with over 100 new surprises. New cars, planes, and lots of other new surprises.
And the chocolate is Kinder with more milk and less cocoa.
Surprise, toy, and chocolate. Kinder Surprise. 3 wishes in one.
I always like helping at Pop's place. He's very busy, but we still have lots of fun. My Pop can do anything.
Most people don't get enough fibre every day. A single bowl of Kellogg's All Bran provides 1/3 of your daily fibre needs. It's made from natural wheat bran and it's low in fat to help keep you living life the way you want to.
Aren't you going to be doing that forever?
I hope so. Kellogg's All Bran keeps you healthy on the inside every day.
Something has happened to Thursday night. Powerball. Choose 5 numbers from 45. And then choose just one Powerball. It could make you richer than you ever imagined. Powerball, the explosive money game.
Fish has a lot of natural goodness, but lacks essential vitamins, minerals and fats. This entire catch couldn't satisfy Sam's dietary needs, so Whiskers have introduced new chunky fish, a unique combination of fish pieces in a nutritious seafood mousse, containing the vital ingredients that nature left out. Now Sam enjoys a perfectly balanced meal every day. New chunky fish will show you why happiness is a Whiskers cat.
The irrepressible Commander Dalgleish is back in one of his toughest challenges yet.
The man from the yard.
The television premiere of the new P.D. James thriller, Unnatural Causes, next.
Down here under the bonnet of your car, fan or no fan, things can get pretty hot. And sometimes they get too hot. And when they do, it can be very expensive. This is one of those moments when you decide not to ignore the information coming from the gauges on the dash panel. This gauge is telling me that this engine is overheating. Oh yeah, that's hot all right, but now there's not very much I can do about it. I can't take the radiator cap off because it tells me not to specifically, and in some cases in modern cars, the radiator cap is not in a position to be removed anyway. What I really want to know is, why is the engine overheating? Now, the modern cooling system is a very complex system, and there could be a number of reasons why you're having problems with overheating. So let's have a look at what they are. The important components in a liquid cooling system are the radiator core itself, the fan blades, of which there are different types, a temperature controlling thermostat, the water pump, and various metal and rubber tubes. Most important these days of alloy engines is the coolant itself. It is not just water. There are various additives included to prevent problems occurring, as Alex Katharina of Natra explains.
Water is simply the medium which carries the coolant, coolant being an antifreeze, anti-boil. You can also have an inhibitor in the system that actually doesn't have the antifreeze characteristics or the anti-boil characteristics.
Okay, so what should we be using to top up when we need to top up a radiator system?
You should refer back to your manufacturer's handbook. It tells you whether you should have an antifreeze, anti-boil, or just a simple inhibitor.
But generally with modern engines, not plain water?
No.
It's not difficult to see the difference in the performance of a water pump which has been driven by plain water and one which has had a coolant with rust inhibitors and other products in it. Look at this.
This is a mess, and this has not been very long in the vehicle. Not only that, not only just the impeller itself, but look at this area here. It's just corroded away, whereas this one is not, well, I was going to say relatively clean. It's not relatively clean. It's very clean. It really looks very good, and there's no